Hello and welcome to Autocar Professional. I am catching up with Mr. Thomas Doze, who is the Managing Director at BMW Group plant here in Chennai. I know it's very hot, but so is this car, this new model that we've...
Oh yeah, very hot.
Yes. So tell me a bit more about it. Introduce our audiences to why this is important, why this plant is important for BMW's India growth story.
We are producing since 2007. So we have started with the 3 Series, and when I joined first the plant in 2010, we had only the 3 Series, the 5 Series, and I launched the former X1. Yeah. So from then onwards we have expanded. We have expanded the plant, we have expanded the portfolio.
Right.
As you may know, the import duty for cars in India is quite high for so-called CBU, completely built up cars. So we have decided to go this way to build the cars here in an SKD, semi-knockdown philosophy. We are importing the parts, we are doing the assembly here and producing for the local market, only for the local market.
Right.
And that's a key point of our strategy to conquer the market, to get a footprint in the market, to offer the cars for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
And that's a business case we are in. That's why we are having this plant. This is why we're having extended the plant. And this is why we feel so comfortable here.
Yeah. 50% localization. Can you walk us through what it took to sort of localize supply chains, because we're living in a VUCA uncertain world. Everyone has to protect themselves from God knows what's coming. So how difficult is it to localize supply chains, like you talked about parts? How difficult is that in a world that we're living in today?
Good question, thank you so much. As I mentioned, the import duty for a CBU is quite high.
Yeah.
The import duty on a part level depends on what import strategy you have. So therefore we have these advanced ruling. So the advanced ruling is nothing else than you are talking to the customs and you tell them, look, if we are doing these components worth of 50% of the car locally, will you give us less import duty for the rest of the parts?
Right.
And that's the deal we have.
So economies of scale work well there.
The economy of scale works well, but also the deal between what is locally produced to get India the benefit out of the production and
right.
what can we import for lower import duty. And that's the case we are having here. This is why we have 50% of the worth of our parts localized.
Right.
This is mainly the engine, these are the seats, the exhaust system, the HVAC, and some other components.
Right.
And this is what we are sourcing locally. But these local suppliers producing only for BMW locally. We have different suppliers who are producing for BMW worldwide, but this number is still small and will grow in future.
Yeah, perhaps could this number reach into, like, say, in 5 years from now? Is there a benchmark that you set for yourself internally?
No, not really, not really. When you see the upcoming free trade agreements, we have more and more with the European Union
right.
coming into place sooner or later, the free trade agreement with UK, I would say there will be somewhere a leveling out of what is a local production and what can we import as CBU, because for the customer, it makes no difference if we produce the car here or produce somewhere else in the world. The quality is always equal. And it's a case-to-case business case to provide the best offer for our customers.
Right. What is the kind of demand that you're preparing for, the kind of capacity, if you can give us an insight into that as well?
The plant is luckily set up in 2013 for a quite higher number than we are producing right now. Yeah. So we have the equipment, we have 2 lines, we have all the technical feasibility for much higher numbers. As of now, our nominal capacity is 17,500 cars. I will promise you we will cross this soon. And whatever I always used to say to Hardeep, I produce 1 car more than you can sell. So this is our game we are always playing. So whatever he can sell, we will produce, and we can produce, and we are able to produce.
Right. You've spent years in the Indian market. You know the market inside out. Luxury penetration hasn't moved too much beyond 1 to 2%. And especially selling this in a market, it's going to be a very hard sell. But obviously, like you've had commitments for 10 new launches in this calendar year from Mini. So, I mean, what is the kind of momentum that you see? What is the kind of demand that you see for a product like this?
Oh, then more BMW you see on the street, then more the demand will increase for BMW. And this is what I feel as well, that then more cars are running on the street, then more sales we have, which is good because we will not have an artificial growth of the volume, we will have a substantial growth of the volume, which is always good to follow the market in a very natural way and not in an unhealthy way.
Right. And powertrain wise, what is the expectation wise? Because we've seen in the luxury segment, electric has done very well. We've seen a couple of players, we've just seen Mercedes launch a hybrid, in a very premium segment. So how do you see the powertrain dynamics shifting, and from even a plant point of view, how does that change, your day job? Because frankly, we don't know the multi-powertrain path that the country is going to take. So how does that make things more complicated for you maybe?
No.
How do you prepare for a future like that?
Quite simple. We have the strategy long time back that we have the freedom of choice. So we are not into one technology and striking out the other technology. So the customer is defining what he wants. So we are technology open, and we can produce here all kinds of fuels. We can produce battery driven cars. We even capable of producing hybrid once the market wants to have it.
Opens up, yeah.
So technology wise, it's not a problem for us.
Yeah.
It always depends on what is the market requesting.
But when you look at product planning and here capacity planning, doesn't that sort of impact? How do you deal with that in terms of multiplicity of powertrains? Is that like a challenge at this point?
No, we have full flexibility in the choice of what we are producing.
Okay.
It might be a challenge if we have to produce from tomorrow onwards 100% EV.
You're ready to do that?
We are not ready yet, but by next year we might be ready for that.
Right. Just one last question. Can you leave us with the demand outlook? Because we've seen so many refreshes, we've seen multi-powertrain approaches, we've seen a refreshed Mini from the BMW Group going forward, and 2026 is going to be that incremental year. So just leave us with the demand outlook that you're sort of preparing yourself with. We're almost towards the mid of the calendar year.
Let's say it like this. When I look back the last 5 years, every year was the best year ever. When I look into 26, I see every month is the best month ever.
Lovely.
So it is substantial growth. And when I look into the long-term perspective, this is keep on going.
Lovely. All the best. And
Thank
on
you
that
so
very
much.
positive note, loved being here and seeing Mini at the heart of where it's made. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
spending time with Autocar.
Pleasure to have you here.
Right.